It's D-Day for Arvind Kejriwal. Delhi High Court will very shortly pronounce its order on the plea challenging the arrest by ED in the liquor gate case and subsequent ED custody. Following two hearings, that was on March 27th and April 3rd, the Delhi High Court had reserved its verdict in the plea of Arvind Kejriwal. Kejriwal, remember, is presently in judicial custody till April 15th. He was arrested by the ED on March 21st. Subsequently remanded to 6-day ED custody, which was later extended by 4 more days. On April 1st, he was remanded to judicial custody for 15 days. The verdict on the plea will be pronounced any time from now on. In fact, sources are saying that the verdict could be pronounced around 3:15. That's about 40 to 45 minutes from now on. All eyes, of course, are on the Delhi High Court. Will the Chief Minister of Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal, get some relief today or not? We'll have to wait and watch. Now, let's take a look at the arguments which are being made. The arguments of both sides. The arguments as far as Kejriwal is concerned and as far as the ED is concerned. Now, Kejriwal's counsel basically argues and says that this arrest is politically motivated. ED says, no, he's the kingpin, he's the key conspirator of the liquor gate case. Kejriwal's argument, arrest unwarranted, particularly it's happening before polls. They say that's suspect. ED says they cannot claim immunity from arrest citing mere upcoming elections. Kejriwal says bid to disable from active role in politics this entire case. That's the argument of Aam Aadmi Party and Kejriwal. ED says that even a common man will go behind bar if he commits crime. So why should anyone get any sort of immunity? Kejriwal, arrest impinges on level playing field. That's what Kejriwal, Aam Aadmi Party is claiming. ED says he cannot be arrested because he's the CM. Is that justified? Again, taking forward the same argument that nobody has immunity. Kejriwal basically saying that ED doesn't have any evidence. ED says, no, we have money trail. That is definitely there, but real money has not been found yet as it is being used. So this is the argument as far as Kejriwal and ED is concerned. Now, we are being joined by my colleague Bhavtosh and Priyank, both who are joining us live on the broadcast. Let's go to Bhavtosh first. Bhavtosh, all eyes, of course, on the Delhi High Court. Take us through what we can expect in the course of next 40 to 45 minutes.
Well, a counter affidavit was filed by the Enforcement Directorate on the plea that was submitted by the Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. Now, Arvind Kejriwal called his arrest illegal and subsequent remand that was given by a special court also illegal. Now, Enforcement Directorate said that they had in fact gathered evidence against Arvind Kejriwal after carrying out investigation over a period of 18 to 19 months, and they have said that they have carried out raids and searches. Around 245 raids and searches were carried out in 7 to 8 states. One of the arguments which is very interesting by the Additional Solicitor General is the fact that they have said that they have expanded the scope of Section 70 of PMLA. Meenakshi, what it means is that they are treating Aam Aadmi Party as a beneficial company under the Money Laundering Act, which is PMLA. Now, by saying so, they have said that Aam Aadmi Party is guilty of Money Laundering Act. Does it mean that Enforcement Directorate wants to attach Aam Aadmi Party? Does it mean that Aam Aadmi Party's assets, whether it's movable assets in form of fixed deposits, or they want to attach its assets which are immovable assets in form of land or its offices? One has to wait and see. But that's what Additional Solicitor General had hinted in the hearing. He had also said that the total proceeds of crime in this case, as of now, stands at around 298 crore rupees. Not only Arvind Kejriwal, but also Manish Sisodia is one of the main accused in this case. But the case has also taken a very interesting turn when Sanjay Singh was given bail, which was not even opposed by the Enforcement Directorate. Aam Aadmi Party then said that this clearly means that the case of the Enforcement Directorate is very weak, and that was one of the reasons why they did not oppose his bail.
And you rightly said, Bhavtosh, as far as the ED heat is concerned, that is intensifying with more AAP functionaries and people really connected to the Chief Minister being examined by the probe agency. And of course, that whole question mark regarding ED not opposing Sanjay Singh's bail plea. And we'll be discussing that further. You stay with us because, viewers, let's also talk about yesterday, because yesterday the ED had questioned the Aam Aadmi Party MLA, remember, Durgesh Pathak, for as many as 4 hours. Now, Pathak was the in charge of AAP campaign. This was during the Goa Assembly elections in 2021. He was summoned by the ED in September 2022, as well as when the ED had called him to be physically present while his phone data was being extracted. Crucially, Pathak was with Vijay Nair when ED had raided his premises. This was in September 2022. And in the questioning yesterday, the ED asked him to explain his association with Vijay Nair. ED also questioned Delhi Chief Minister PA Bibhav Kumar for nearly 6 hours. And he was remember, he was last questioned. This was in November 2022. And this questioning also was centered around the now lapsed excise policy. Now, sources are telling us that a close aide of Kejriwal, Bibhav, is someone who is quote-unquote aware of the meetings which were held at the Chief Minister's office and the camp in his office. In fact, in documents which have been submitted by the ED in court, it has mentioned that Bibhav also had used 4 SIM cards in his mobile phone, and these mobile handsets were used during the relevant period. That's when the liquor policy was formulated. Obviously, all eyes are going to be on the High Court, whether, Kejriwal gets relief or not. But Priyank, let's talk a little bit about this angle as well, because there are more and more AAP leaders and functionaries, I was saying earlier, who are being questioned, who are now being examined by the probe agency. Eyes now, of course, on Durgesh Pathak, on Bibhav. If you could elaborate on their role and, what the ED has been questioning them on.
Actually, Bibhav is considered to be the right-hand man of Arvind Kejriwal, who has been associated with the party's top leader since the time of inception of India Against Corruption, and which later on converted into a political party, which is now a national level party. On the other hand, Durgesh Pathak was the one who was who's still the member of the Legislative Assembly. But when Vijay Nair's residence was raided by the Enforcement Directorate in Mumbai, he was also present there, and that particular time period, his mobile phone data was also scanned by the agencies because he was present there. If you look at these sequence of incident which has unfolded, which has led to the arrest of Aam Aadmi Party's top leader, then certainly those people who were associated with the policy-making decisions whose name has come up, not only in the excise policy scam but also in the Delhi Jal Board scam, they have been scrutinized by the probe agency, and we know that several prosecution complaints have been filed in this case. While talking about this particular case where the order is expected to come out within half an hour's time, Arvind Kejriwal, while making his oral submission to the court, which was also taken on record, said that I don't have any issues by agencies taking me in custody for whatever time period, but the fact should come out. So that particular statement can also go adverse against Arvind Kejriwal, knowing the fact that he himself has made submission where he did not oppose his judicial remand, which was sought by the Enforcement Directorate when the matter was heard in the Rouse Avenue Court. Now it's just a matter of half an hour when the things will be clear that what could be the final outcome. Actually, the order was expected to come at 2:30, but the latest update which we are getting from the court is that at 3:15 this particular order will come. If this fails, if Arvind Kejriwal's counsel fails to get any kind of relief from the High Court, then certainly the next step would be towards the apex court. But in the meanwhile, as you rightly said, and all these other leaders who have been closely associated with Aam Aadmi Party's top leader Arvind Kejriwal have also been put in under thorough questioning by the Enforcement Directorate. Bibhav was questioned for approximately 6 hours and Durgesh Pathak for nearly 4 hours.
Right. So, of course, there are other AAP functionaries also who are being questioned, Priyank. But, once again, let's go back to Bhavtosh. All eyes, as we said earlier, of course, on the High Court. Whether Kejriwal will get relief or not, that's something we'll have to wait and watch, Bhavtosh. But if you could take us through the type of arguments which the ED has been making in the case, because as far as Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, we have in detail looked at what the Aam Aadmi Party had to say. AAP is basically more or less saying that, look, ED's allegations are malified, they are politically motivated. How is the ED countering these arguments by the Aam Aadmi Party, Bhavtosh?
Meenakshi, riveting court drama happened for 2 days. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, in fact, said that the questioning, there should be questions raised on the timing of arrest. He said that the first summons were issued only in October 2023, whereas the FIR in this case was filed by the Central Bureau of Investigation in August 2022. If the ED had evidence from day one itself, then why was the summons issued only in last week of October 2023, to which the Enforcement Directorate had said that they had carried out raids and searches over a period of nearly 19 months. They were collecting evidence, and only then they named Arvind Kejriwal as a person of interest. Arvind Kejriwal should have joined the investigation. It was delaying tactics on the part of Arvind Kejriwal which dragged this case for nearly 4 months. And it was Arvind Kejriwal who in fact was approaching the courts, and he was the one who was continuously writing letters to the Enforcement Directorate, and Enforcement Directorate was not in any kind of it was not bound by any kind of legal reasons to reply to Arvind Kejriwal's letters. He also in fact said that if a murder take place, any law enforcing agency is bound not to arrest an individual just because election is taking place. He also in fact made a very interesting observation. He said that where is the money? Now everyone is asking that there is no recovery of any money. He said that the money has actually been spent in Goa elections, that around 45 crore rupees have been spent in Goa elections. In the various court documents that have been submitted by the Enforcement Directorate, it was actually the Income Tax Department that carried out the first raids and searches in January 2022, when they had in fact found some documents and chits which had been recovered, which said that there was Hawala transaction worth 45 crore rupees in the Goa election, which took place a month later. That information was shared with other agencies. Then subsequently the leads were found about the manner in which the South Group had given money of around 100 crore rupees to Aam Aadmi Party.
Absolutely.
Having said that, Aam Aadmi Party has always denied this. Singhvi has also said that one should also look at the larger picture of Sharad Reddy giving around 50 crore rupees as election bonds to the Bharatiya Janata Party.